After the destruction of Zelda, a great wave of gentle magic spread across the known world. What was considered reality now lived in the past, living only in the memories of those who lost everything. A new era began in which only the strong would survive, or so they thought. The first country to be struck by the gentle magic was the Land of Lions. It was the greatest power in the known world, after Zelda, which gave her the privilege of being on its council, holding the position of general. However, the wave that was unleashed did not affect everything in the same way. The once chivalrous and uniquely beautiful Torgar was now ruined, a victim of the magic that so repelled her. "Put him on the table," said the great Mantis. "Great Mantis, please. Save your lord. Save my husband, Mama," said the Lady Celia. "Bring me the tools and send as many men as are able to walk, to go to the Forest of Light and bring me fruits of Zinnia. Minty Fyoda, you know, it is very difficult to enter the forest. The magic that protects it is very strong," said Officer Gora. "Its magic is weak in Goa, but even if it is not, it is the only way to save Mermia," said Fyoda, frowning at Mermia, who was lying on the table. "And how do you know that?" Gora said anxiously. "What do you think attacked us, some invisible enemy? Zelda's magic did this to us. Her magic affected us, and if it affected the people, then it would also affect the forest. Now leave quickly and do your duty." Gora turned sharply, bowed to Lady Celia, and left the throne room. His hands were shaking, as he himself had not realized what had attacked the country and was already being asked to do the impossible, to go to the Forest of Light. He quickly headed to the dormitories of his soldiers, only to see half of them fainting and the others trembling. He wanted to encourage them, but in vain. Every word he tried to say stuck in his throat, just at the thought of asking them to follow him. But the thought and the weight of his mission did not give him the luxury of being timid anymore. Time was not on his side. He put one hand on the hilt of his sword and rubbed his face with the other. He climbed onto a bed and shouted with all his might, "My brothers, do not be afraid at this moment. Find your courage and stand up to protect your country with all your strength, for the good of your families and for the glory of Forward, brothers, and we will emerge victorious." Those who were conscious looked at him in awe, full of questions but also admiration for his courage. "Fate calls us and wants us for an impossible mission, to bring the Zinnia from the Forest of Light." Hearing this, the soldiers began to chatter. Some even ran from the dormitories, and others shouted that they could not be asked to go to certain death after such a disaster. "I know the legends and stories about this place, but it is the only way to save Lord Mermia," Gora said seriously. "We are his only hope." "And what attacked us?" said one of the soldiers. "All I know is that Zelda's kind magic did this to us, and that is why there is a chance that we will survive the forest. So, brothers, who will follow me on this adventure?" he said, shouting loudly. A soldier approached. "Yes, General, you have chosen well. This is a dangerous task, but a necessary one. Go now, my brave soldiers. May the goddess bless you and return safely." With the message of the Gora, the soldiers left the room. In a hidden corner of the immense continent, veiled in mystery and magic, lay the legendary Forest of Light. It was a place of great power, both beautiful and dangerous, guarded by ancient and powerful magic. The trees of the forest were not only tall and resistant but also possessed a strange luminescence, giving the place an ethereal and mystical atmosphere. These trees served as a shelter and protection for all living things within the forest, shielding them from outside influences. Only those who were pure of heart and intention could pass through the enchanted trees without being harmed by their magic. But getting inside was not easy. There were many traps, magical tests, and mythical creatures that guarded every step. Even so, the desire to discover the secrets of the forest and obtain its supposed healing fruits was very tempting. The only entrance to the Forest of Light was through a portal created by the ancient Mages Guild. They built it in order to keep in touch with the druids and receive the blessings of the forest. However, this blessing could turn into a curse in a matter of seconds, as anyone who entered would be tested and judged by the guardians of the forest. Gore's group arrived at the portal, anxious and somewhat fearful, but they knew that their mission was of vital importance for the fate of the City of Lions. The portal was majestic and imposing, but at the same time mysterious and dangerous. No one knew what would happen once they passed through it, but they were ready to face whatever challenges awaited them. Gore felt a shiver run down his spine as he stepped through the portal with his soldiers. The energy was unlike anything he'd ever experienced before. 2,000 years of accumulated history pressed down on them, making it clear that this place was not to be taken lightly. When he finally opened his eyes, he found himself in a place so different from the world he knew that his breath caught in his throat. The trees were taller than any he had ever seen, reaching towards the sky with branches covered in luminous moss that seemed to glow from within. The air was filled with the sound of singing birds and the sweet smell of flowers that he had never smelled before. The sunlight filtering through the leaves created a mosaic of light and shadow on the ground, adding to the magical atmosphere of the place. The soldiers whispered in awe, their voices echoing in the immense space of the forest. One of them, the youngest, reached out to touch a nearby tree, but Gora stopped him with a gesture. "Remember our mission," he said in a low voice. "We must remain focused and remember why we are here. 2,000 years ago, the Mages Guild built a portal here to exchange knowledge with the druids of the Forest of Light. but it is rumored that this place has been abandoned for centuries. Yet here we are, and that means the guardians of the forest are real and awake. Suddenly the trees began to shake violently and the birds flew away screaming. From the depths of the forest came the sound of drums beating loudly, as if summoning some kind of ancient ritual. An ominous presence loomed over them, causing fear to grip their hearts. "Run!" cried Gora, urging his soldiers to run deeper into the forest. As they fled, the trees parted and a path was revealed. Before them, the drums grew louder, signaling that they were getting closer to the center of the forest and perhaps to the source of the mysterious magic. Meanwhile, at the edge of the forest, an imposing figure emerged from between the trees. It was an ancient druid, his face lined with age and wisdom, his eyes twinkling with an otherworldly light. In his hands, he held a staff adorned with leaves and flowers that seemed to pulsate with life. "So the prophecy begins to fulfill itself," he murmured, gazing into the depths of the forest. The drum beats echoed in his ears, reminding him of the responsibility he had to fulfill. Quickly he turned and walked in the opposite direction, towards the ancient mage tower where the portal was located, disappearing from sight as quickly as he had appeared.